Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to, oh my goodness, I've just seen that the deer are literally right over there. I'll take a few clips for you, but welcome back to my channel and welcome to this weekly vlog. I first of all need to apologize because I realized that I was very clear over on Instagram that I was going to be taking some time offline over the last few weeks. We had some holidays planned, and to be honest, I really needed like a soul level reset, and the time offline was so needed and so like therapeutic. It was fantastic, but that's why there hasn't been any videos here over the past few weeks. But I'm back now. I'm back for my 2 times weekly uploads. I'm still getting into the groove of them, so bear with me, but very excited to be here a little bit more. But yeah, welcome to this weekly vlog. Forgive if I'm looking a little bit pale. I'm trying to be better about putting my sunscreen on in the morning for my walks, especially in the summer, just so that I'm looking after my skin. You can really tell that we're looking very pale, but that's okay. So I thought, to be honest, it was probably time for a little I guess update, a little check-in where I've been, what's been going on. Obviously, as I said, I have been, the deers were walking really close. But as I mentioned, I have been on annual leave. I did take some holiday. I took some time offline, which was very, very needed. And to be honest, I've actually been moving through a lot personally, purely personally. Oh my goodness, let me turn the camera around. Sorry guys, I just had to show you because they've come, so they never come this close. But I think because I'm sat really in quite a space that people don't tend to come. Oh, look at the baby. Oh, honestly, they're some of my favorite animals. It's definitely, I feel like, oh. Anyway, sorry, back to what I was saying. I've been moving through a lot personally, and I feel like I've really begun the healing process that I needed to do. Oh my gosh, there's more, and there's babies. This is so distracting, I'm sorry. But I really feel like I've started to move through a healing process that was very, very much needed. I feel like my birthday kind of not brought stuff up, but just really gave me some time to reflect and sort of see, actually, there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to process a bit deeper and move through. So I recently started therapy, which I'm loving. It's so nice to just have someone that is purely there to listen to you. I don't feel like, yeah, I just absolutely love it. I think it is honestly incredible. So that has been a really positive change and exciting new, it shouldn't really be exciting, but I'm finding it very exciting and I'm really enjoying it. Very emotional, but really, really enjoying it. So yeah, that's one new thing. But I also just thought that, you know what, over the next couple of months, over the next couple of weeks, I really wanted to kind of start a new series on here because I'm definitely in a bit of a healing era, which I feel like I've said before, but healing takes time. We cannot rush healing, first of all, and second of all, I feel like, yeah, it takes time. So I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but this is going to be episode 1 and I think we are going to really just move through this becoming your best self, healing, finding yourself again, because I definitely feel at times that I'm sometimes feeling a little bit lost, which I don't often admit, but there are definitely moments where I've been like, oh, like a lot has changed and I wonder who it is that I'm becoming, and I trust it will be a beautiful process. But yes, this is going to be episode 1, and as I said, I don't know what I'll call it, but I just thought I could bring you along for the next couple of weeks, months, and take you on this journey of, you know what it is? It's coming home to myself, which is everything I share on Soul Shallow. So it feels really nourishing to also to be able to give that energy back to myself, because I give it to my students so abundantly and so graciously, and that's what I love sharing and helping people with. So it feels really nice and nourishing to be able to give that back to me. Anyway, this is a very long intro to the vlog. My arm's starting to get tired. I have actually got a new phone, so I'm hoping this quality is going to feel a lot nicer. But yeah, let's get on with the week. guys, happy Wednesday. It's been a few days since I started the vlog. I actually had my parents here very like a fleeting 24-hour stay, so I was spending some time with them, but we've circled back round. As you will have seen this morning, I did a really gentle yin practice. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but I did a really gentle yin practice this morning, pulled some cards. I then have been sat just doing a little bit of work. It's now almost 4 o'clock and I have kind of condensed my work and managed to be finished for the day, which is really, really nice. It's actually something that I have been trying to do be a little bit better at, and I think I've mentioned this in vlogs before, but I am someone who's very good at creating busy work, so finding work to be done basically, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it then isn't great when you're wanting work-life balance. Especially recently, I have been really craving, just like I have the flexibility with a lot of my work being online to create this work-life balance, and I really want to feel like I'm enjoying that. So that is something I've been really, really implementing honestly for a little while now, of really trying to swing that balance and do the work that needs to be done, and then not just like put everything down, but actually be offline as well and just really take that time. And I think that's really something that I've been thinking about an awful lot, and something that I've been kind of trying to find the balance with when it comes to, I guess we're talking about like these healing eras and like coming back home to yourself and things like that. And I think that it's a real balance sometimes, because I think especially within the industry I'm in of yoga teaching and healing and energy healing and self-improvement, which is such a beautiful thing, occasionally we can, I guess, lean a little bit more into some of the more, I would call it more masculine side of things, of there's some things that need to be fixed, there's more I need to do. Look at all of these things. I could be journaling, I could be meditating, I could be doing breath work, I could be doing this, I could be doing that, I could be doing this, which is great and are all amazing tools. But sometimes, especially when it comes to, I'd say that healing and coming back to yourself and really grounding into who you are, it's not really about what we're doing. I think a lot of it is around actually, can I do less and trust that it's going to then create space for whether it be healing, whether it be just like self-discovery to take place. And I think that is really, really, really important. And that's something that I think we all, especially if we're interested in this side of things, I think we all begin to kind of fall into sometimes, is this doing, what can I do? Or maybe, for example, I'm feeling a certain way and what can I do to fix this? How can I not feel this? And actually, sometimes what we need, especially if we're wanting to lean more into the feminine side of things, when we think about the way in which the feminine navigates things with ease and grace, if you can hear any background noise, I apologize. When we think about how the feminine and the energy of the feminine navigates challenges with ease and grace, it's this getting out of the head and into the body. It's that feeling over thinking, right? And so often when we're moving through things like this, we try to intellectualize what we're feeling or what we're moving through, which can be really, really great, but often at times that's not actually the healer. Sometimes it is about slowing down, it is about giving yourself space, sometimes it's about experiencing the full like depth and the full, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but really feeling everything is really, really, really important. And that is something that over the past couple of weeks I've been really trying to just create space for, and I have really narrowed down the work that needs to be done and what I need to be doing. And then I have really gone, you know what, that's a busy task, I don't need to be doing that. And that's definitely a real privilege and a luxury for me to have, because I am self-employed, but it's also kind of scary as well. I think anyone else who's maybe here and is self-employed knows that feeling of doing busy tasks, because you feel like you're doing something and you feel like you need to be doing things, if that makes sense. But anyway, that is very much what I've kind of been feeling and doing. That is kind of the plan for the afternoon, is to have now quite a chilled afternoon. I am going to read a book, and I actually wanted to pop on and chat to you about books I'm currently reading. Now, I thought first of all we could chat through fiction books I'm reading, to be there to remember which one was which. The fiction books I'm reading, because I know in my last vlog I was reading the second book of the Fourth Wing series, and I feel like we're all kind of reading the same books at the moment. I feel like there's a massive online book club and we're all just reading the same books at the moment, or I know that these are really popular books at the moment. So yes, I just finished the second book of Fourth Wing. For anyone who was thinking about reading it or thinking about reading that series, it was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. There was definitely a lot of like conflict, is that the right word to use? I prefer, like, if I'm reading a fantasy novel, for there to just be a little bit more magic. But it was good. I finished that. We'll read the next one. It was very, very good. And I've just moved on to, I think it's called Spark of the Everflame. I will check that, but it is so good. I am loving it. I'm already on the second book, so I think that's what I'm going to read this afternoon. That series has just hooked me immediately, which is very, very, very exciting. We just love that. I do love at the moment these are like fantasy books, which are really, really great because they're fantastic for a little bit of escapism, just a little bit of like really switching off, and that is something that I really love coming to reading to, because when I'm reading I can't be on my phone, I can't be doing anything else, it's just full focus. So I just feel like, you know what, reading fiction books can be one of the most healing things because it's just pure escapism and it's lovely. But I'm also reading a bunch of new non-fiction books. I thought I could show you some of the more recent books that I have ordered and I have been reading. Some of these I took on holiday with me. I've got a big stack. Some of these I took on holiday with me. Can I put them there? No. And some of them I'm sort of halfway through. Some of them I haven't started, so I'll have to come back to them. Let's talk about maybe this one first. This is The Courage to Be Disliked. A single book can change your life. I would say that I am about halfway through this. This is a really interesting book. The entire book is basically centered around a conversation between a psychology professor or a philosophy professor and his student. And his student is asking him questions all around healing and all about trauma. And it's a really, really interesting perspective on, I think, more so the way in which we process trauma and the way in which we move forward from it and overcome it, which is a massive thing. So that is a really, really interesting book, very easy read, and also a very, I'd say it's slightly more masculine approach in the sense that it's very strategic and very to the point. So if you're wanting a quick, easy, very straightforward read, this is a really interesting book. I would always say have like a critical thinking mind, but really fantastic. I was enjoying that. The next new book that I got was this new book by Kirsty Gallagher, which is it's Kirsty Gallagher, which is The Goddess Path. She is the same author that wrote, is it Luna? Moon Magic? Luna something. How have I forgotten that? Luna Living, that is it. She's the one who wrote Luna Living, and this is written very much in a similar way. So I'd say this is a really lovely, like, more entry sort of beginner book on learning about the goddesses, but also learning about feminine energy as well. This is a really lovely book. I've been enjoying, again, a really easy read. It chats a little bit about the different goddesses, which is just really, really nice. And again, in that really approachable, very digestible language that she is really just fantastic at. She's such a good like introductory teacher to these things. So I've also been listening to this actually as an audiobook on my walks, and it's been lovely. I've really been enjoying that one. The next book that I got, honestly there's quite a few here. I always say you can tell someone's in their healing era by their bookshelf, or I'm definitely one of those people. The next one is a really beautiful collection of poems. I love reading like quotes and poems, and it's called, oh, it's looking a little bit battered actually. I took this one on holiday. It's called When the Waves Come, and this is really, really beautiful. I finished this in a day. It was just really, really lovely. I love books like this. I have a special place that, you can see I've sort of flagged loads of pages to come back to there, but this is a really lovely one for just kind of gaining perspective. I've really enjoyed that. The next one was again a holiday read that I'm about halfway through, which is The Women Who Run with the Wolves. Now this is one that's been on my list to read for ages, and it just felt like the right time. The first thing I would say is this is definitely not an introductory read. I'd say this is a very, it's fantastic, like really, really, really fantastic, but it's really deep embodiment work in this. I think it's also written from, I wonder if it is, I think it is written from, it's all about the female psyche and exploring, I guess, more of the wild woman archetype. So this is like a lot of depth into like the learning of feminine energy and the learning more so of like the feminine psyche and just our collective experiences as women, which is always something that I have such a passion about and I'm always finding so interesting. So this has been a really, really fantastic book. Like, it's spoken to me on so many deep levels. Really, really loving this book. Not an easy read, so if you're new to sort of that kind of text, maybe start with The Goddess Path, but really, really lovely. Heavy but very, very good. The next two books I haven't started yet, but I'm very excited to start, so I can circle back to you once I've started on them. The next one is If Women Rose Rooted, which is quite often these two are mentioned together. This one I think is a slightly more approachable read from what I've sort of seen in the first few pages I've read, but just really, really excited about this one. Again, a lot of these you'll see a theme all around feminine psyche and very much around feminine energy, feminine healing, which we love. So that is the next one. I can't say too much because it's new. And then the last one was, this one is very, very academic, so I don't know if it's going to be of interest to many of you. I do have a degree in like, a lot of my degree was women's studies, so I do have a degree basically in women's studies, so I'm a bit of a nerd about these things. I really enjoy reading about the collective like anthropological experiences, but also very much about the psyche and then the spiritual aspect. It all kind of ties together. It's funny how things like that come around. So at the time my degree was very, it was an odd degree to choose, but I've circled back to it. I just have such an interest and a passion for this sort of area. But with that being said, this is called The Revisioning of Love, and it is all about the dark feminine, which is really interesting. I feel like it's a journey I've been on this year and I'm still on at the moment. It is something I'm going to chat about once I feel it's been integrated a little bit more, but sort of exploring that dark feminine, first of all archetype, but also the dark feminine that's within all of us as well, which I just find so unbelievably interesting. So yes, I'm really excited about this one. This one is definitely a heavy read and is very, very academic, so it might not be for everyone, but I'm really excited about starting this one. I just want to make sure I can start this one when I have the time to really, really give to it. So those are my current new additions to my, I guess, what would you describe these? My self-development, my spiritual bookshelf. And I'm really enjoying them. I think if I could recommend just one, I feel like it'd be one of these two. Maybe that one if you want more entry level, this one if you're really enjoying learning in depth about, I guess, sort of the, yeah, just more in depth about feminine energy and more about the collective psyche of women, which is just fantastic. So yes, I'm gonna stop nattering about that. But yeah, I've just been really enjoying taking this little bit of extra time, allowing more space to kind of just be in my own energy. And I'd say that's the biggest thing, because I was thinking about within this vlog what it was that I wanted to include, what it is that I'm sort of doing on what we're describing this as healing era, finding yourself, coming home to yourself. And I was thinking, oh gosh, like what am I going to include? But actually the biggest thing that I am finding so unbelievably therapeutic is creating space to slow everything down. So reading more, slower days, not actually, just imagining if you could like give yourself a hug and just hold yourself and give yourself a little cuddle. That is very much, I think, the energy I'm currently in. So everything is slower, everything is just giving more time and space, which is really, really nice. And there is a really lovely poem by, I think her name is Emery Hall, called The Photosynthesis of Healing. I think it's in her book called Made of Rivers, I think. And in that poem it says, how does it go? What will become of the story inside my heart? Graveyards or gardens? Like, will I excavate it and turn it into this beautiful garden that I learned from and that I alchemized from, or will I allow it just to stay there? And she really describes this feeling of like leaving it and trying to move away from it, and that very, I guess, sort of yang approach to healing, in the sense of fix, move. I hope this makes sense. But she really just words and phrases that so beautifully around actually giving yourself the time to learn deeply about yourself and sort of pull out the stories we have and the experiences we have and turn them into something really beautiful. And I don't know, that's been something that's been on my mind today, so I thought I would share that. But I have now been chatting for far too long, so let's get on with a very chilled and relaxed afternoon. I have actually got myself all comfy and cozy to really tuck into my book. It is really grey and like overcast, and I'm almost hoping a bit chilly outside. And I just opened my phone and this was the first reel that came up, and I just couldn't think of anything more accurate. I'll have to show you.
So what's the verdict?
I am an autumn.
Basically, autumn first comes, and I actually wrote about this in my, sorry if you can hear noisiness outside. I actually wrote about this in my newsletter that August is actually my favourite month of the year, because it feels like the Sunday of the year. It feels like there's just this like slow, really like, I don't know, like this slow, soft energy to autumn. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know if that makes sense. Not autumn, August. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just love, it's very much that sort of slow summer, that drift into autumn, which is just my favorite thing. So much so that I actually even bought myself a pumpkin candle yesterday, which I know it's too soon, but honestly, that is just, I just can't think of anything better. And I feel like when you're sort of in this like healing era, as we're calling it, that actually just like holding space for yourself in the smallest but coziest and like most nourishing and nurturing ways can be actually so impactful. So yeah, I am going to put you down now, and I'm at quite a good part of my book, so really just tuck in. Hello guys, happy Thursday. I'm in the car because I've just turned the car off. I am in the car because I have just whizzed back home after a morning power yoga class, which was really nice. The gym that we've joined has some relatively good yoga classes, so I've been really enjoying them. So it's 10:30 now. My class is at 9:30. I now have a client at 11. This is a one-to-one yoga business consultancy client, and it's actually one of my one of the really lovely teachers that was on my yoga teacher mentorship cohort earlier in the year. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with her and just supporting her with whatever it is she's creating at the moment. And then you may have seen yesterday I was sort of making a plan and making some notes all about Lionsgate, which is today, and we have a Lionsgate portal workshop on Soul Shower this evening, which will be really lovely. We're going to do some vision boarding. I'm going to pull my tarot cards out and do a collective reading for everyone. I've kind of designed a specific spread for the Lionsgate, which I'm going to do for everyone on there, which is very exciting. We've had quite a few sign-ups. I think all the members are quite excited about it, which is really nice. Yeah, so that is kind of the plan for today. I do have quite a few hours between my client and then our live session this evening, so we'll see what I get up to. So yeah, let's move on with the day. Hello guys, it is a lot later. I had my one-to-one business consultancy client who was just lovely. She has so many magical things in the works, just so many lovely opportunities coming her way, so it's really lovely to be able to help support her as she creates new business proposals and begins to just really take that like grounded action on her yoga business. So it's just lovely to catch up with her actually more than anything. And then for the rest of the day I've done a little bit more prep for our evening workshop on Soul Shala, and I'm just actually setting everything up now. I've got the incense on, I'm just really setting the energy for the space. I've got my lighter in my hand, so it's just lighting some candles. But we've actually had quite a few bookings come through for the live session this evening. Usually a lot of our members love watching the recordings, but it's really nice. I feel like we've actually got quite a few of us that are going to be live this evening, which is always just so exciting. So I have got my tarot cards out, I have got all of my energy clearing supplies. I think I'm going to pull a few crystals as well, just to really help support the energy for this evening. So in terms of crystals, I am going for this raw citrine, which is actually one of my favorite crystals. Focus, one of my favorite crystals, and it's just perfect for the energy of this Leo new moon, and also just really fantastic for manifestations as we're doing visioning. I'm also going to go for this Aura rose quartz, which is, again, it's very heart energy, but it has that sort of like angelic energy with it being an aura rose quartz, so that one feels really in alignment. And the last one I'm going to go for is this aura amethyst, because we are really going to be tapping into like some heart-led intuitive visions today, and I'm really taking them through a bit of a visioning journey, so I just think that is going to be almost like a real intuitive guide for us today. So I'm going to bring them over to my workspace and just begin to make sure I'm all set up. This is my setup for the evening. I have got my notes and some old vision boards here that I can show as kind of demonstration. I don't know if I mentioned, but we're doing vision boarding and tarot readings. So I've got my tarot deck, I've got my candle, my sage, my Palo Santo, so I can do some energy clearing to sort of open and start us off. And then I've got the crystals there. I will set an intention for those crystals before we begin, but I'm just going to sort of, here's my little spot where I'll be. I'm going to set up my laptop and kind of just get into the zone, give myself a minute before we begin. Hello guys, happy Friday. This lighting in our bathroom always makes it look pretty pale, so please forgive that, but happy Friday. I haven't actually checked in with you today at all. I am actually on the first day of my cycle today, and it has hit really heavy. I've been nauseous, I've had a headache, I've had cramps. It's pretty standard for me, but I just needed to take some time. I've actually just had a bath. I'm feeling a lot fresher now. I just thought I'd actually pop on and check in with you and chat all things my current hair care. Before we do that, I mentioned I'm struggling with period everything today. If there is anyone there here that does actually struggle, these are my current lifesaver. I get them from Holland & Barrett, so it's UK based, but they're like all natural patches. I cannot wait to put these on this evening. They are just dreamy. I'm looking very pale. I'm just gonna see if I have like a lip balm or something I can just put on. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Just something to make sure I'm looking relatively alive for you guys. I do tend to just look a little bit pale and peaky around the time of my cycle as well, if I'm honest, so forgive the current appearance. But yes, as I was saying, I actually thought we could just chat hair care for a minute, and the reason I say that is because I know this is like a healing era vlog. However, I've been on a bit of a hair journey, and I've never chatted about this on here actually, but I, as of late, have literally been getting more compliments on my hair than I ever have. So I don't think I've ever mentioned this on here, but for quite a few years, I'd say probably 4 or 5 years, I have had extensions in. So probably since the beginning of me vlogging, long time ago, dyed my hair blonde, like very, very, very blonde, which obviously isn't great for my hair. I actually have naturally very, very curly hair. I'm mixed race, so I have that like Caribbean curly hair. And I also have really fine hair. So I actually have like one of the most fragile hair types you can have, which is unfortunate, but I have very fine curly hair. And I dyed it blonde, trashed it, ended up having extensions to basically help me rehab it back to a relatively good state. And we recently went on holiday to Croatia. I don't know if I mentioned this on here, I didn't. We spent a week on a boat, it was just like lovely, but in order to do that I needed to take my extensions out because it was just going to be chaos. So I actually took them out ages ago. I took them out probably it was May or June, and have just been like really honing in on my hair care. And I've literally just in the past week have had someone come and say, Amara, have you had your hair done? My mum was like, are you still wearing extensions? Your hair looks so thick. I had quite a few people actually message me on Instagram and be like, your hair is looking incredible, which is literally the biggest compliment because I've had my extensions out for a little while now and it's just feeling really good. So I thought I could share with you what I've been doing. So I just feel like I'm at the stage now where my hair's not looking actually that fresh today because we're on day 3 and it's hair wash day tomorrow. But I thought I could just share with you some of the things I've been using because it is not a, I'm really committed to this at this stage, and unfortunately I have to be. I think even as a teenager growing up, I didn't really look after my hair. I didn't really know what to do with it because I had very, very Caribbean hair and my mum is English, so I don't think either of us really knew what to do with it. So it's been a process of like learning about my hair, and then I was always in the water, was just never looked after my hair. So this is probably the first time since recouping it from being really, really blonde that my hair is in fantastic condition, which is really saying something. So you've seen my hair sort of in the vlog anyway, but you can kind of see that like there is length, there is thickness, which for me is really quite a thing. It's really not looking that fresh today because it is day 3, but hopefully you've seen it in the other days of this vlog and seen it a little bit more fresh. But I thought I'd show you what I've been using. So where to even begin? I guess we'll start with shampoo and conditioner because that is a really good start. So the first thing that I have been using, which is like a pre-shampoo treatment, is this Philip Kingsley elasticizer. I saw Lydia Millen post about this and she's just got like the most gorgeous hair, so I was like, you know what, I'll just try it, and I actually feel like this is making a massive difference. It's really, really lovely. I put it on before I wet my hair, put it on before I'm going to have a shower and wash my hair. Really, really fantastic deep conditioning treatment. I really like that, and I think I'll probably continue using it. I can't decide if I'm going to go for the higher strength one afterwards. This one says for all hair, but the higher strength one is for curly hair, like quite like thick curly hair. And my hair, whilst it's fine, it's thick when it's curly, so we've got that sort of dynamic to work with. So that is the first thing that I've been loving. In terms of shampoo and conditioner, you will notice here I'm having a bit of a love affair with L'Occitane, and I a few months ago bought this almond oil which I use to gua sha and just like all over my body. I do have dry skin, so this I fell in love with, and I've ended up like slowly trying the entire line because I'm just in love. So I've actually been using the shampoo and conditioner version of their almond oil range. So the shampoo is lovely. Jake's actually been stealing this. He came out of the shower yesterday and he was like smelling incredible. And I was like, oh, you smell so nice. Did you use the shower oil? Because I also have the almond shower oil. He's like, no, I used your shampoo. So I noticed it on him. It smelled lovely. So he's been stealing this, which is quite the compliment because he only steals it when he thinks it's really good. So I've been using this shampoo, and then I've also been using the conditioner as well. Shampoo is lovely. The conditioner I'm currently 50-50 on. On its own, I don't find it's quite enough for my curls, but it's actually perfect weight for how fine my hair is. So I do like it, but in order to make it work for me, I've actually been combining it with this L'Oreal Elvive Glycolic Gloss. I got this on Amazon for like £6. Saw it in the supermarket, it was twice the price. If you do want to try this, order it on Amazon. But I actually use the two of these together and it is such a fantastic combination. It is so intensely hydrating and like makes my hair so soft and glossy without being heavy. And this is like my absolute favorite combo at the moment. I'm obsessed with these two. So yeah, that is my shampoo and conditioner. I tend to wash my hair twice a week at the moment. So Wednesday, Saturday tend to be my hair wash days. And then let's talk sort of like in between washes, what I use and what I do. So obviously there is a lot of talk about like rosemary oil for hair growth and improving hair condition. Now, I am like literally all over hair TikTok doing all the research for all of this, and there's kind of conflicting information with like how oiling the scalp, but I actually quite enjoy oiling the scalp, so I do it, but I just don't leave it on overnight because I don't want it getting like too heavy. I'll leave it on for like a few hours, but I have quite a sensitive scalp. I have a very sensitive scalp actually, and if it gets sweaty, it needs washing immediately, but even if it just needs a little bit of love between washes, I've never actually been able to find anything that helps, if I'm completely honest with you, until this. This was a complete like impulse purchase and try. It is the L'Occitane Protection and Soothing Scalp Serum. Now this is not an oil. This is a serum that I put on to my scalp, and it's like a, it's got 5 essential oils, and basically what it does is it just nourishes and like soothes the scalp, which is just exactly what I need. Since being a yoga teacher and like my hair just getting sweaty a little bit more often, that's something that my scalp has just never actually been particularly happy with me with, and it was always the case even as like a teenager and stuff. But I actually put this on, it smells incredible, but I actually put this on every evening on my hair. Jake will even go, oh my god, what have you put on? It smells incredible. And I will just put it and like rub it into the scalp, and it's not oily, it just dries, and it leaves my scalp feeling really fresh and really soothed. And I genuinely do believe, because a happy scalp at the end of the day is really important for like hair growth and condition, I genuinely do believe this is working miracles for me. Really obsessed with this. I think it's quite a niche product. I don't know if everyone has a need for it, but if you do have a sensitive scalp that is like perpetually unhappy with you, this stuff is insane. And then I do have a sort of rosemary oil that I will use every once in a while. I don't use this every wash, but sometimes if I'm feeling like it, I will do that, and I'll do like the Ayurvedic hair scalp oiling where they really focus on the crown. This also smells really lovely. It's like rosemary, coconut, argan oil, there's coffee. This is a really lovely one. Again, this was off Amazon. Forest and Shore Thrive hair oil. It is really lovely. I like that. I prefer this, but I do like this. And then the final, I told you this is not a small collection of products here, but the final thing that I use is coconut oil. Now, there are so many studies, and I am literally the person looking at studies at this stage with my hair. It's been such a journey. There are so many studies that say that coconut oil actually does have the ability to seal basically split ends. So if you have like a hair, what do they call it, follicle? Gosh, this is why I'm not a hairdresser, but if you have a strand of hair that's beginning to kind of be on the verge of splitting, this can actually seal it and bring it back together. So this I use almost every night. This is fantastic. My body just tends to love coconut just in all senses. Like my skin loves coconut oil, but my hair loves coconut oil. One thing that I did sort of pick up from just chatting and trial and error is a lot of people will use just like organic coconut oil that you can get from the supermarket, and actually it is actually better to use a hair version just because the organic coconut oil can actually get stuck in the hair and be really hard to get out. So if you're using one that's formulated for your hair, especially for me because my hair's really fine, if you're using one that's formulated for your hair, it's just, you're not going to leave any of it there and get like really dry residue because you don't want it sealing things in. But I tend to apply this almost every day, but also when I was on holiday, I was applying this every day before I went in the water, because actually water is, this shocked me when I found this out, so we're chatting all things hair care. But water is actually the biggest thing that damages your hair because it gets into the strands and it begins to break them down. So having something over it to just sort of barrier and lock in the moisture helps when getting your hair wet on holiday, or even just making sure that your shower isn't like stripping some of the good nutrients. Having this on top is really great. So love that. I then, when I style my hair, do use a leave-in conditioner to help me detangle it. I've got fine curls, I need a detangler, and I use a heat protectant when I style my hair, and they're just cheap ones that are coconut based because I'm just convinced coconut oil is a healer. So that is kind of my collection of current hair products, which I was just really excited to share because I've literally never had so many compliments. I will show you what it's looking at, but as I said, we're on day 3. So it's definitely not looking the most fresh, but it's just looking, I wish I could show it to you when it's like all fresh because it's not actually looking that great here, but no. So yeah, I will use those before I style it, and I tend to use the air wrap to style it. I hated my air wrap for ages, and now I do finally get on with it, and it's the main thing that I actually use, and I will just do that once after I wash it, and I try to just leave it to on hair wash days, so I'll only use heat twice a week, which again is really important. So yeah, that is my little like hair care update for you guys. If there is anyone out there who's on a hair care journey and maybe has similar hair to mine, fine, curly, but lots of it and very fragile, let me know what your favorites are. If you're just wanting to just mooch on some of the things I'm doing, let me know if they work for you, because I love chatting all things hair care and whatnot. So yeah, that is currently where I'm at with my hair. As I sort of showed you in previous vlogs, I then got it coloured. We went for like a, just kind of back to my, what I describe as like a really dark, I don't know if I describe it as blonde, it's like a highlighted brown basically, which is like a dirty blonde. They think they call it old money brunette at the moment, but that is very much actually my favourite colour I've had in my hair. I've gone through quite a few colours now. I've gone dark, I've gone really blonde, and just this like in between is just my favourite and the way I feel the most myself. So that is my current hair care regime, what I'm doing, my favourite products. I will try and link them below if I remember. But yes, so it is now Friday evening. My plan for the evening honestly is to have a really, really chilled one and just completely switch off. I'm actually going to put a few of these on because I'm not particularly comfortable at the moment, and really just try and relax. I've also taken a magnesium tablet, so that's just going to kick in. I'm really feeling really good. And then tomorrow, I'm not actually sure what the plan is tomorrow. It's going to depend on how I'm feeling. We were thinking about going to the gym maybe, might pop to a Pilates class, depending on how I'm feeling, or I may stay in and do some baking. So I might take you along for a little bit tomorrow as well, but I'm very much in need for a very chilled evening. I didn't chat to you about how my workshop went last night. It went so well, it was so lovely. We had quite a few members join us live. I'm actually just uploading the recording for the other members now, but we had so many members join us live, and it was just so lovely to chat to everyone and do the manifesting with everyone. I am just so grateful for the Soul Shadow community, because just everything I do on there really anchors me, especially when I've got other things going on, knowing that I can just come to the space, and it's not just a healing space for the members, it's also a really healing space for me. So I definitely had like a little pinch me moment afterwards, because I was like, oh, this is what I was manifesting for so long. I'm feeling that really come to life within the community is such a beautiful thing. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit gushy now, so let's get on with the evening. I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it has been a very chilled and slow Saturday morning. I, as you'll have seen, got up, did a really gentle, nourishing yin practice, pulled some cards, made myself a tea. We then had breakfast. Jake has gone to the gym. I have bowed out of the gym as I am still nursing all of the period, everything today. So I actually just spent some time editing this vlog, so I thought I would come on and just finish the vlog here. But before we finish, I just wanted to first of all just come on and really, I guess, chat about the week, but also chat about I guess what it means. And I've decided to call it the Healing Diaries, but being in this sort of period or chapter of healing, or the healing era, whatever you want to call it, there's definitely a feeling of there's so much going on and it's such a process. And usually when I have something like this going on, and obviously I haven't shared particulars because this is kind of being shared and I want us to be able to move through this together, or for this to be something that you can come back to when you're also moving through slightly more challenging times. And I'm also hoping this is going to be quite a cathartic space for me as well. But usually, especially as a yoga teacher, in order to keep those sort of professional bounds, I tend to keep when I'm moving through something very close to my chest. I'm also a really, I hate the word guarded, but I'm a Cancerian, and I am definitely a Cancerian through and through, in the sense of I retreat into my shell when I've got lots going on, or when I'm finding things challenging, or when I'm moving through a bit of a growth and a rebirth and an upgrade and a healing moment. I tend to retreat into my shell. However, I have a funny feeling that kind of the beginning of this healing era is very much linked to my Saturn return. It's really funny because someone on my 27th birthday vlog that I put up, someone was like, oh my goodness, it feels big because it's the start of your Saturn return. And I did kind of know that, but I feel like it's just kick-started pretty much straight away. So I have a feeling this is gonna be quite a long process, quite a long chapter. And I was like, you know what, instead of my usual retreating into my shell, maybe this is going to be a really lovely therapeutic kind of outlet where we can move through a bit of a healing journey together. And it's also just such a beautiful opportunity for me to practice what I preach, which I'm actually always so grateful for when those opportunities present themselves, because I feel it really helps me become a better teacher, because I know it's fresh in the mind what it feels like. It's always such a beautiful alchemizing moment in that sense as well. So I'm feeling really, really, really grateful to have sort of this facet to be doing this on and be sharing on. And I'm also just really grateful to have, I do have for the most part, a really lovely community here, and I'm really, really grateful for you guys. So also just want to put that out there. This is kind of the happy compromise of, I really want to make sure I'm showing up for you guys and doing that twice a week upload. And I really want to create a space where if I am in an in-between moment, or in a slightly more in my shell moment, that actually this is a space I can still continue to show up if I want to. And I guess just more personal, which is, it's exciting. So I really, really, really hope that you enjoyed this vlog. I really hope you enjoyed this episode 1 of the Healing Diaries. If you did, please, please, please do let me know. Episode 2 will probably be next week. I am going to the Eras tour actually next week, and I probably won't vlog it, but in a couple of vlogs you're going to see my entire Eras tour reaction, which might not be part of the Healing Diaries, but is honestly on my bucket list. I have been the biggest Taylor Swift fan since I was really, really young. So this is my first ever concert, so I'm very, very, very excited. Completely off topic, but I'm very, very happy that you're here. I cannot wait to catch up with you next week, and I will see you very, very soon. I'm sending you so much love, so much gratitude. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to catch up with you soon. Bye guys.